Bill, there's the music, and you know what that means, don't you?
It's time to get started.
It's time to get started. This will be our second podcast with our principal series where we're talking to the main owners and blenders of some of the cigars that we sell in our humidor here. And today, I think we got a big one.
Larry, this is going to be so much fun. We're going to be talking to Mr. Rick Rodriguez, West Tampa Cigar Company, a true titan in the cigar industry.
He is a titan indeed. And so we look forward to this. And Ricky, we're glad to have you. Ricky, how you doing?
Good, bro. How you doing today?
Good, good. So you're in your car, so you're doing a lot of busy traveling today?
Oh, yeah. I'm on my way to Naples. I have an event tonight at Burns, the Reckitt Patel Lounge in
Okay.
Naples. So we're going to do that. We just opened up with Burns about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so I'm trying to do a tour of every Burns that they have right now. Has five. So I'm trying to just, go there, introduce myself, share our cigars and see if it's going to work for that shop.
And that means there's one up near here, right? Isn't there one in Indianapolis?
I think so.
Yes, I did that. I just did that. I think 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that would have
Yeah.
been nice. And then we could have brought you over here for a night or something.
Right.
Okay, I see how it goes. I see.
It was, bro. It was a one and done. I was there, and because I think it was, there was a holiday weekend. Maybe it was the 4th of July.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that was it. So the next day was the 4th of July. So I flew home on the 4th.
Oh, wow.
That's the reason I wasn't, kind of reaching out to anybody. I didn't want to work on the 4th, bro.
So first question, by the way, what are you smoking?
I'm smoking the Robusto Red.
Okay,
Good choice.
I'm smoking the Lancero Red.
Oh,
And
wow, yeah, bro.
Buddy Bill here.
Attic.
All right.
Yes, sir.
It's so Ricky. Since the day we opened,
Mhm.
West Tampa has been the number one seller in our humidor.
Wow,
Had a
that's
little bit
unbelievable.
this past month with something new we brought in, but I have
hmm
no
hmm
have no question that soon you'll probably jump right back up there.
I love that, bro. All we're trying to do, we knew that with my history, a lot of people were going to support me. We knew that, but we didn't want to take advantage of that and just ship up, a cigar that, it's okay. We worked very hard to give you, everybody, if you're going to bring us in a good cigar that you can trust, you can depend on, and you can sell. And so far, we have hit 3 out of 3, and I think the fourth one, and we'll talk about that. That we're launching the full time. The fourth product full time is going to be in October, and I think that's going to be another one that you guys are going to have a lot of success with.
And I'll be honest with you, Ricky, everything you've come out with from the attic, I've got guys that would crawl across the floor to get some more Boliche Boulevards.
Yeah.
Uh,
We can talk about that. That's never going to happen. I can do it, but we'll share the story. I don't want to do it, and the reason I don't want to do it, and I think your fan base will understand and really appreciate what I'm trying to do or not do.
okay. Well, let's just jump into it. Tell us a little bit, and you can make it as long or as short as you want,
hmm hmm
about your time uh, starting out in the cigar industry to your time with CAO
hmm
and then your transition going into West Tampa.
So it's a kind of a beautiful, unbelievable story because my path to get to the cigar industry was not there. I've never smoked in cigars. The first cigar I smoked, to a matter of fact, was when I was interviewing to get a job with General Cigar. I was 40 years old. But I knew that in my blood, in my DNA, there were cigars in my DNA. Why? Because my grandfather and grandmother were the master rollers in Cuba, and they went from Cuba in 1953, and they ended up in Tampa to roll cigars. Why? Because in 1952, Tampa, for the first time, outproduced Cuba making Cuban cigars.
Hmm.
And so my grandfather was laid off of his factory because of how many cigars Tampa was producing, and they couldn't afford to have one job, so they just elected to move the family to Tampa, and that was so my memory of my grandfather and grandmother. Unfortunately, both of them passed away before I was maybe 8 years old. But we have memories when we were babies or really young. And my memory is the smell of that aroma of cigars entering my grandfather's house because he smoked one cigar a day, and my grandmother smoked one cigar a week on Sunday, watching us play outside. So my image of a lady smoking a cigar equals not sex but power because she ran the family.
She
And
was.
so when I see somebody, especially a woman, smoke a cigar, I think, oh, she's powerful because she has to be powerful to be able to get into this pool that's 95%. And the pool is women, I mean, men. And so she has to be confident and for so that's, sorry. So, you know what? It's to get my dad's generation. He was a cigarette smoker, never pick up a cigar in his house. So, you know what? Living in Tampa, I know a lot of people were smoking, but I was just kind of, nah, I'm not a cigarette guy, so I'm not going to smoke a cigar. I thought they were all equal. Now I know the difference. But I met a guy when was having Sarah, my only child, and Lamaze classes. I met this gentleman, and the wives liked each other. We liked each other, and he tried to recruit me to work with him at Nestle's to sell candy bars, and I was in the carpet business. I said, "Bro, I'm, I'm not going to sell a candy bar. We're like in a band, down by the river. I'm not going to sell a candy bar." So he left Tampa, and about maybe 2 or 3 years later, he called me and said, "Bro, I left Leslie's. I'm now selling baked beans." B&B baked beans. Do you want to sell baked beans? I said, bro, there's no way I'm going to sell a baked bean either. And so I kind of lost touch again. And then all of a sudden, about a year later, he called me and said, bro, I'm working with Gel Cigar. Are you interested in selling cigars? At that time, I wanted to change. I wanted to get out of the carpet business. It was just, I was in that carpet business for 15 years. I just wanted to change. And I said, Jake, yeah. And we met in Ybor City and we had a great dinner with him and me and the wives. And we're walking down at the restaurant and says, let's smoke a cigar. And my face took white because all through the dinner, I was telling you about my grandfather and grandmother coming from Cuba. We were really building this up, and said, I'll smoke a cigar. And my wife says, "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to smoke a cigar." Really, big boy. Really. Okay. And I smoked a cigar, and I got the job. And I was a rep for General Cigar. I had the territory of Tampa, Orlando, the Panhandle, and Jacksonville, half of the state. And I was with them for about maybe 4.5 years. And the owner of General Cigar at that time was Mr. Coleman. And he approached me at an event in Tampa and says, "We need to talk." And that was on a Thursday. On Friday, I got a call from my boss and say, "You need to report to New York." And when you're offered to go to New York as a salesman, there was one thing they're going to do, fire you. This is General Cigar. General Cigar, if you were a rep in Seattle and they wanted to let you go, they flew you all the way to New York
Wow.
and they were man to man, eyeball to eyeball. This is the reason we're letting you go. So I had no clue why he wanted to talk to me. Nobody said anything about maybe a promotion. So I was saying to my wife, Susan, I'm going to be fired. I said something on Thursday he didn't like. I'm going to be fired. And so all of a sudden, I was in New York in the interview, and he says, Ricky, your days of selling cigars for Jello Cigars are over. and my heart dropped. And I stopped and said, "Sir, if I said anything to upset you, on Thursday, I'm so sorry. I love your company. Of course, you love our company. We're the number one premium cigar company in the world. And also, you are the number one rep in the US. So why are you firing me?" He says, "Firing you? I'm not firing you. We need help." Benji Menendez, the master blender for Spartacus, Cohiba, and Macanudo, is retiring. And then also La Gloria, HBC, Ernesto Perez Carrillo, is going to retire in a year. So we're going to be without a master blender. And we have chosen you to train you to be a blender. And it just like that turned my life upside down. And I said, I don't think I'm ready. I really don't know anything about tobacco, cigars, how we make them, how we grow tobacco. Don't worry about that. We'll train you. We're going to put you in the hands of some legendary guys to train you. So if you look at my training, I was trained by four Hall of Famers. At that time I was training, there was only 11 Hall of Fame people and cigar aficionado. I was trained by four: Mr. Coleman, the only Hall of Famer that didn't ever blend a cigar, but it was an owner, Ernesto, Benji, and Franklin Nessa. And so we trained in the factories for about a year in the DR, and I trained a year in Honduras, and then I rode with Benji for 5 years. And Benji taught me the art of blending cigars. What the factories taught me is how we receive tobacco and all the process that we put that tobacco through, from fermentation to selecting to aging to blending to packaging to shipping. So I had to do everything. I had to go to the farm and harvest tobacco for 3 weeks. Uh, know this, that is the hardest job in the world, as far as what I know about jobs. That if my, I don't care if they paid me $200,000 to harvest this back. Well, I say, you know what? I'd rather work at McDonald's. I'm not going to do that. It was horrible. But after that training of 7 years, they got together again. Not part. I was not a part of this, kind of meeting, and it was Ernesto, Michael Giannini, Mr. Coleman, my boss, head of sales, head of marketing, and Benji and Ernesto. Okay, are you think is ready? He's ready. He's ready. All right, Ernesto, you're leaving in a year. We're going to give him to La Gloria. You train him about La Gloria. He's going to take over La Gloria. And La Gloria at that time was just doing this. It was on fire. And so I was so happy that they gave me La Gloria to work on. So we created about, together with my team, about maybe three blends. And about 18 months later, 2 years later, they tapped me on my shoulder and said, "Yeah, thank you so much for your effort in La Gloria. We just bought our merge with CAO, and we're going to ship you to Nicaragua." I don't want to go. I don't want to go because at that time, CAO was doing this, and La Gloria was still doing this. So I said, "I don't want." Oh, bless your heart. You think we're asking you? No, we're telling you. You're going to go to your CAO. And then I went to CAO, and I was there for about 13 years, and we could create some great cigars from Amazon Basin to Flathead to Bones to Sessions, uh, you know, uh, all these great blends. And we took a company that was at the first years of sales for General Cigar was, I think, $17 million. When I left, it was a $39 million a line for them. Number one. And we finally passed Macanudo as the number one selling, a line for Jello Cigar. And I was so proud of that. And so, but, Sarah, my daughter, approached me in 20 and said, Dad, I want to come home. She was traveling the world after she graduated college. I know it's a long story, but it really is a
It's
great
fun.
story.
You're
Awesome.
And and so she was, she graduated from the University of Florida and she took off and she traveled the world by herself for 10 years. And all of a sudden, she was stuck in Nicaragua on the beach in Nicaragua when the pandemic hit and shut down. I said, Dad, I think I'm going to come home and get it. I start my career. And I said, Oh my God, thank you. About time. 10 years too late, but by time, what are you going to do? And he says, Dad, I think I want to get into the cigar business. I have never, ever heard of that once from her that she was interested in that. And so, you know what? I don't know when you're going to come home, but if you are interested, think about that. What you're asking me to do is I have to leave General Cigar and to do something with you. So to really think about it, it took her about, I think she finally was able to fly out of Nicaragua and 2 or 2.5 months later. And she came home. We had a little conversation. Sarah, do you remember? Yes, I've thought about it for the last 2 months. I'm in. What are we going to do? I said, you know what's funny? Because my old partner from General Cigar, he was the vice president of marketing, called me that January and said, "Happy New Year's. What are you doing?" I said, "Bro, I think I'm going to leave General Cigar for what? I think I'm going to open a shop with Sarah." And he says he lives in Richmond. And he says, I would love to get back in the business because he left General Cigar about in maybe 2017, 18. So he was gone for about 4 or 5 years. He says, I'm doing something, but I don't like it. I want to get back to the, bro, you want to do the shop with us? Yes. And so we started to work on the business plan, and it was going to be me, Sarah, and my wife running the shop. And he was going to be the behind the scenes running the business in Richmond. And about maybe 2 weeks before we committed to a lease, he called me and says, Ricky, I'm out. I said, bro, what do you mean you're out? We're going to sign a lease in 2 weeks. We picked our location. Yeah, but it's not going to work. What's going to happen is you're going to have to work it with your family. I'm going to be in Richmond just sitting back, collecting all your money that you have worked hard for. It's going to destroy our friendship and also our business relationship. So I'm out. I said, I cannot do it. I know what I know. I know tobacco. I know storytelling. I know how to create images, logos, but I don't know how to run a business. And he's very, very wise, business wise. And so I can't do it without you. He says, well, have you ever thought of you doing your own line? To tell you the truth, no, I've never because I was so happy with General Cigar and CAO. Why would I leave this? I have access to every tobacco in the world, access to anything I want. If I want a box that lights up for $100, they'll buy it and they'll make it for me and they'll deliver it to me. And I said, well, so why would I think? Well, think about it. Thought about it for a day, and I said, Sarah, if we don't do a shop, are you still interested if we do a lunch? Dad, whatever we need to do, I just want to be a part. Call it back, gone. If you can do a business plan and if it makes sense, we'll do it. And this business plan came back. I think we can do it if we can open 75 to 100 shops year one and 200 to 250 shops in year two. I think we can do it. You know what? I believe in myself. I believe in Sarah. I believe in you. Let's do it. And we did it. And so I left General Cigar on May the 29th. And no, April the 29th and opened up West Tampa on May the 2nd. So I
Man,
was retired from General Cigar and they thought I was going to just retire. And so we had a retirement party, and then I opened. So I dropped the mark on the Friday in Pittsburgh and opened up West Tampa on Monday in my garage. And General Cigar was like, "How did you do that over the weekend?" Really? You really?
Yeah.
Oh, I just did it over the weekend. But I did a lot of behind the scenes, working on the weekends, working at night, and connecting everything we did. And that's kind of the story of where I came from, how do I get into the business, and where I am today.
And the story I heard from Gus was
Mhm.
that when you opened up on Monday, you already had cigars ready to go.
We did. We did. We already had in line our a factory, and we chose a very small factory for a number of reasons. One thing that I we discovered right away when the announcement was made, we were overwhelmed with people calling us big manufacturers, medium manufacturers, small man. Hey, bro, we want to make a cigar with you or for you. And I said, yeah, you don't want to make it for me. You want to make it for the numbers I created for CAO. So I could go to a Pepin or a Davidoff, a Fuente, anywhere that, but I said I would just be a number. So I wanted to go to a small factory that I can work with and grow with, and that's the reason we picked Garmendia.
Okay. Can Ricky? Can I share an experience here? Because I know we're
Yes.
going to talk about this a little bit. So you had a hand in either creating directly or being part of the team. I would say two of my favorite cigars of all time. One of those being the Flathead V660.
Oh yeah, yes, for sure.
I think we all have in our cigar journey, we have that moment where you get that one that makes everything kind of come together and click. And when
Hmm.
I had the V660 and I was able to pick up the chocolate and all the things that I heard people talking about that they were getting from cigars, it really opened the door for me in my cigar journey. And I've heard you speak about that in some of your other interviews, and what a fast process it was when you created that line. Can you talk about that just briefly?
Yeah, it really changed a couple of things. It changed me as a blender because it was so highly rated. That's one thing. We didn't know that at the beginning, but it also changed the way everybody looked at General Cigar and CAO. So it was the first cigar that said, "Oh, there's a new sheriff in town." Because for the first 2 years, that was the third cigar that we released. The first 2 years was still talking about the old regime. We love the owners, and these guys were great, and now it's a corporation, and you're going to fuck this up because we love the mom and pops, and all you're going to. I said, bro, no, 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 no. We're going to try our best to. And I had to smoke every CAO cigar because before that I smoked one cigar for CAO called Sopranos. That was my only cigar I've ever smoked it with a CAO. And I loved it, but I didn't smoke Brasilia, America, Italia, anything. And so it changed that. And so they gave us about 3 years. If you cannot correct this downturn, what we're going to do is at the fourth year, we're going to sell it to CI and make CAO a house plane for CI. So if you want Sopranos or Amazon, I mean, Brasilia, you can only purchase it through CI. And so you have three opportunities, three launches. The first one was OSA. Okay, it was okay, still on the market today. Very proud of that. Second one was concert effort failure. It was off the market in less than 18 months. I have two records at General Cigar, the highest rated cigar ever, and also the quickest off the market. How you have those two together, I don't know, but we accomplished that. We have the highest rated cigar ever, still to today, and the one that's quickest out of the market.
That's awesome.
So really worried about going into the third year. And they give us about a year to work on the project. And the project was only focused on, at that time, I didn't have the power to suggest. It was just, what do you want from us? I was just the messenger from General Cigar to the factory. And
Okay.
so they want us to do a world blend that can we use all the tobaccos, some kind of combination of the world blends, and create one cigar using maybe some filler from the American and the Italian with a wrapper. And I said, okay, what's it going to call? It's going to be called Sync. I said, Sync, like the boy band in Sync? Yes. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But you know what? I'll do my job. So now, fast forward, we had only 3 weeks before we have to start to make cigars for the trade show. We needed to make 300,000 cigars for the trade show to pass out and to create that line. And so we are at maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 months to this project, and we couldn't get her down. Every blend we chase it now, no, no. We created maybe easily 50 to 70 blends and no blend passed. And so I was so upset. I called the president of Joe Cigar and said, bro, you know what? We're trying our hardest. I don't just want to pick one, just to pick one, because it's not going to work. I don't believe in it. I can't go and do an event on the cigar I don't believe in and lie to my fan base or your fan base. So I don't know what to do. So Ricky, you only have 2 or 3 weeks. You have to have a blend, or you if you go to the trade show without a blend, you're almost guarantee you're not going to have a job, and we're going to sell CL to CI. Do you have anything? I happen to be in the factory. This is Monday in the factory that week. I said, bro, I have this crazy concept. I wanted to share with you, but it's not my time, or I don't have the opportunity. What is it? It's called flathead. What is that flathead, bro? I don't know. I think it's. I know the image is a kind of a presentation based on the old car engines from Ford called flathead. But also, I'm thinking about images of pinup girls that when I was a young guy watching the old World War II movies, I love the guys who are in the fucking bunkers, and they always show the pinup girls. And I said, I just love that. And he said, all right, well, you know what? I don't care. You have a week. So on Tuesday, I got the team together. So guys, I'm going to create you the blend, and I want you guys to create. So there was 6 people and me. So 6 people. You guys get together, a creative blend this morning, so we can roll it and smoke it this afternoon. And this is my blend, and my blend won. And so after lunch, we're smoking. It's, bro, this is good, but they're always saying, and I was saying to myself too, it's too hot in my mouth. I'm not getting the flavor of the tobacco that we should receive from all these great tobacco. And so I don't know what to do. It's a round cigar. And the roller that I've been working with, or worked for 13 years with, he says, Ricky, box press it. And looked in on who's the smart one in the room? It should be me. But what do you mean box press? Just box press it, and we'll see tomorrow. So we box press. We roast some 10 cigars, box press them. Wednesday morning, we smoked them. Bingo, bingo.
Hmm.
And okay, roll me 20 more cigars. I'm going to take them home with me. I'll share with the marketing team and the sales team, and we kind of smoke it. What is this? What is this, bro? It's called Flathead, and we designed the box. I designed the box on Thursday in the factory, and left on Friday. Uh, Overnighted the cigars on Monday. Everybody on the Zoom call smoked it together on Tuesday and voted for that. So, okay, perfect. This is and we launched it. We didn't know it was going to be a success because we're so scared, bro. You just worked on that blend and created in less than a week. Well, you know what? Let's go. Let's go to town. And everybody at the trade show was smoking. what is this? This is nothing like ever I smoked from CL. I said, are you like it? We love it. And it just blew up. It blew up. And it was the cigar of the year, number three. I always say number two because of a Cuban cigar that have no access was number two. But as far as we were cigar of the year, number three, and a rating of 95. And that's the story of Flathead. So sometimes, if you have a lot of time to think about it, guys, it's like your kids that your teacher says you have 2 weeks to do your report, and somebody takes I was a guy on Sunday
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was working on my book report to turn in on Monday, so I can focus on it. But in whatever reason, we did it, and it was huge, and it really created my image and my brand. And it was, I just thank these guys so much for believing in me, allowing me to do something so scary for Jello Cigar and take that chance and say, drop what you've been working on for 9 months and do something you've been working on 90 hours.
Now, I'm going to ask another question and follow up
Mhm.
because you brought up something I think a lot of our people will go, I never really thought about that. What does box pressing do to the flavor of the cigars?
Oh, that's a great question because I again, a lot of people think the reason we make a box press is that if you're bolder, you can set it out and it doesn't roll away. That's a benefit of your cigar. That's not the the purpose that a manufacturer makes it. When you have a round cigar, you can completely shut your lips around the cigar and only draw in air and smoke through your cigar. And if it's too hot, uh, hot tobacco or hot smoke equals less flavor. But when you box press a cigar, you're drawing in air and smoke through your cigar, but also you have slats, and you're also drawing in cool air, cools it down, more flavor. To understand this better, if you go to a pizza parlor and you get that pizza directly from the oven, sit to your table, the cheese is melting, you're biting, and what do you taste? I don't know, but it's good, but you didn't taste because it's so hot. Take that same pizza, let it cool down to room temperature or the next day. Put it in your fridge. Eat it. You taste the crust separate. You taste the sauce separate. You taste the cheese separate. And so that's what box press does for a cigar. The reason a lot of manufacturers do not do a box press is we know the benefit, the pluses of it, but about 30% of your market doesn't like that size in their mouth. So I don't care how good the blend is. I don't like that shape on my mouth, so I'm never going to buy it. So, but if you satisfy the other 70%, you have a home run.
What size was that original prototype, Mr. Rodriguez?
You know what? We usually did maybe a for you guys, a size would be we test a Toro. A Toro will allow you to go down a lot and go up and start kind of keep that flavor the same. But the crazy thing, because we wanted to introduce a 6x60 and a 7x70, there was the first time the Gel Cigar has ever created two blends using the same tobacco, but two blends for one line. Meaning, if you're smoking the 6x60 and 7x70, we're using Seiko. More
Okay.
flavor, less body. So we didn't think somebody wants to smoke a 2 hour, 2.5, 3 hour cigar doing this. Bro, a lot of body. So we thought those guys were more flavor guys. But if you smoke the black one, we had the black is 54. We had we had the Lacero, and then we had the little spark plug, and
Right.
those are only using Lajero, more body. So if you take that little spark plug, the little green one, and take a 7x7 and smoke them together, you'll notice a different, bro. The body of this one is there, but the flavor of this one is there, and it's amazing. It was the first time that we ever. I don't know if anybody else has done that, but I've never heard anybody that I talked to that has separated to utilize different areas of tobacco to create one line.
It's very interesting. I'll be honest. I don't know everything about cigars, but I've garnered a lot of knowledge over the years. I'm not sure I even knew that about the box press.
Now, you know what? That's the beauty of cigars. It's not up to you. You're in a business. Maybe you're selling cigars, but it's up to me to know the difference and the story to share. Because if you're a doctor or an attorney or a truck driver, you should know a lot more. I've been watching doctor shows on TV. You should know more about surgery as a doctor or surgeon than I do because I just watch it on TV. And so it's my job to understand what we're doing, but it's also my job for Benji to be able to share this information so the consumers can understand it. Because usually when you're talking to an owner or a blender, there's only three ways that he can answer a question. Uh, and Benji taught me this years ago. Okay, let's take this question, Ricky. I'm going to ask you this question. I want to see how you respond back to me. What's the difference between natural and Maduro? So there's only three ways. So let's take the first way that you can't answer the question. My question to you, Bob, is how long you've been smoking cigars? For 20 years. And you don't know by now the difference between that and that? Are you crazy? Everybody's hands going to go down. Why? I just embarrassed this guy.
Yeah.
Or the second way you can overtalk them, show off. This is your opportunity to show them all your knowledge. Well, the pH level and the soil and production and fermentation, bro, really? Or simply, hey, bro, the third way, great question. In our belief, a natural doesn't offer you any sweetness. Maduro, because we ferment it, high temperatures, breaks down the starches. What is starch? Sugar. You should be able to rotate that cigar before you light it and taste sugar. That's Maduro. I don't care if that cigar is jet black. Look at Partagas black. Look at my black. My black, nowhere's that box says Maduro. And a lot of people, bro, I love your Maduro. Really. I have never created a Maduro for West Tampa. No, really, bro. They're black. No, black is just a natural that we're fermenting a little bit longer, change of the color. But I didn't break down the starch until it turned out the sugar, so I do not call it Maduro. Now, Rocky Patel, Papine says anything black or they can. That's your belief. This is my training. This is my belief. And so take the black. The next time you have a black, rotate it P4, taste it, bro. Take a white, rotate it, same flavor, because we didn't process the tobacco making Maduro.
Interesting.
Very.
And then, so I'm smoking a red, and it's Mexican San Andreas, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
So, what kind of a different profile will I get with the red as opposed to the Ecuadorian Habano and the black and the white?
The sweetness, because what you're going to see, you're going to see more and more, companies offering you the Mexican for two reasons. It is a great wrapper, and every consumer or every cigar smoker are enjoying it. The benefit too, it is natural sweetness. So Connecticut broadleaf is getting so expensive to make Maduro from. It's going to price itself in the market. So we're looking for like Brasilia, Montecrino. offers you some sweetness without fermentation. It's a natural sweetness. So that's the reason that a lot of people thought or think uh, the uh, the the red is Maduro because they're used to that sweetness. You can rotate it, you can taste it. Not as sweet as Maduro, but you can definitely taste it. So that's the difference. So if you're smoking or comparing white and black and red, we don't want you to say, blind, oh, this is West Tampa. Why? It just has that kind of, every factory has that problem. Every factory has that kind of signature flavor or body or spice or whatever it is, and you can taste it throughout their line. That's the reason West Tampa is going to work with multiple factories because multiple factories allow me to say, here's a new cigar. You can present a new cigar, unband it. Who's making it? I don't know. Who is West Tampa? Because a lot of cigar companies like Papine, you could take a band up. Who's making that cigar? Bro, Papine. Why? It's bold, spicy, peppery. They're known for that. And so we don't want to do that. So if you're smoking the three, they should perform separate. Yeah, it tasted like black, tasted like red. Black tastes like white. I don't like that. I just want you to enjoy your cigar, whatever, black, red, or white, and it's different.
So let's talk a little bit about the West Tampa era now.
Mhm,
What I have seen, and again, I started my cigar journey probably 3 years ago, we'll say. What I've seen being with your brand from basically the beginning is you can really see the evolution of the complexity of the cigars. Can you
mhm.
from a white as you transition up into the red, which I personally feel like
Mhm.
is a masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you look at the three lines, the first two, the red and black, the reason we launched it together was we were going to plan to launch white first, and 6 months later or a year later, launch black. And the reason the more we talk, why not launch them together? And the reason we did it because when I was doing tours of Asia, China, and Europe, they were always coming to us. We want a cigar made for us. We are tired of buying cigars made for the U.S. and then we eventually get them. Could you ever go back to CEO, top, heads of state, and say we want to develop a cigar first for the European palate and then introduce that cigar to the U.S. market? And so Gentle Cigar love that idea, but because the Gentle Cigar is so kind of big, our planning stages is about 3 years.
Okay.
And so it was always getting pushed maybe in 2017, maybe in 2019, but we never got to. So when I had the opportunity to do it, perfect. So the blend for white was focused on the Cubanesque, and it's that style that the European market loves. And so when you smoke that cigar, you can kind of say to yourself, you don't know the line, you don't see the packaging. Is this a Cuba cigar? No. Is it American? No. This is Cuba. But I knew my fan base for CAO loved the Sessions, the Bones, the Amazon Basin, the Flathead. So they love the darker wrappers, and that's the reason we do that. And then we knew that we were going to launch the third and final of the series of West Tampa Red. But because the timing was so close, we're scared to say, okay, guys, we have a new line. Really, bro, you're not even given the chance for white and black to succeed, and you're already asking us to buy a new line. Yeah, can you? And so what we did was, hold on, let's test this blend. How we're going to test it? I'm going to create this new fucking line called Attic.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to now allow these guys to not buy three boxes or three sizes multiple boxes. Now you can buy one box of Isaac, 14 count box, and try it and see if, and we want that response. How do we want the response? We just waited for people to call us, hey, bro, we need some more Attic. Unfortunately, we only made about 2,000 boxes. We sold out. Oh, bro, you need to bring it back. Really? Interesting. We will. And we did red. So red is the same tobaccos, the same blend, but everybody, the reason we just relaunched Attic again, because the overwhelming response to was, I don't care if red is Attic or Attic is red, we want Attic back. And we launched it again. Just a matter of fact, we're starting to ship it next month. And so we already shipped some out there to the market, but now we're ready to release it again to the wild.
We got
But
some.
yeah, so you were the first one to get the first small batch. So hearing that over and over, no, he said Ricky's, and I said, bro, it's insane. So we started research. What is happening? So we went to the factory and said, why is it? Okay, Ricky, if you realize what we did with Addict, we didn't launch until 6 months later. So we kind of aged that cigar for 3 to 6 months longer. Okay, maybe that adds a little flavor. Also, if you notice that the size of your Toro, of your red, is a 52, but the Attic is a 54. So maybe that little ring gauge difference, maybe the little about the aging also add. And also, what we discovered is the size and the blend created this, and then packaging. It's amazing when we can give you a cigar. I guarantee you right now, about 80% of your clientele, if I give them the two same cigars with different meds, they will react to that as different cigars. Because you buy cigars, like Benji said, your eyes, your memory, and then taste. So they automatically says, this is red and this is green. It's different. And so
Rick,
you go into that market thinking it's different, but it is the same cigar. And also, we really selected the darker wrappers for the presentation. Dark wrappers, if you look at wrappers and if you look at any line, sometimes they come into your shop and that Maduro is a little bit on the light side of black, and sometimes is the darker black. Your eyes say there's a difference, but if I blindfold you, so now you tell me what is the difference. This one, I don't know. I'm smoking the same cigar. Yes, you are. So that's the reason.
Are you crushed?
well, no. So, Ricky, I was going to tell you how many times have we seen? There's a couple guys that would almost come to blows over
They'd
this
fight
topic.
you over it.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's
That's just
got
the beauty about cigars. That's the beauty. If you think you're receiving fried chicken flavor and I'm receiving strawberry, who's right? You're right, fresh chicken guy, and I'm right, strawberry guy. It's your palate is different. Everybody's palate is different. Did you enjoy it? Yes, I did. That's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear.
So, but Rick, while we're talking about the West Tampa cigars, before we move on to what's coming up with West Tampa,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, I want to ask, and maybe I'm going to steal Bill's thunder,
Go ahead.
but I'm holding up one of your bands,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I've only seen one person, and I think that Gus Martinez has some kind of magical ability that he can pull these rappers
No.
bands off without a problem. But I don't know anybody else that can.
It really hurts us band collectors.
Yeah, it does. It does. A simple reason I have an answer for that because that was the thing we heard over and over. That's kind of good news. You don't want to hear your blend sucks.
Right.
Your band is hard to get off. You're not smoking that band. Don't worry about it. Just take it
We're
off.
good.
I don't care. just bite it off, chew it off. I don't care. How do you like this cigar? Great cigar, but the band. Well, we discovered because of the details of that image, we could not put it on a regular paper stock that we're using for 90% of bands right now. And we elected to go with this paper stock uh, used for money or certificates, and so it's kind of thicker paper, and it really absorbs the glue. We tried to change the glue. We tried to change how much glue, less glue. But it's the story is the truth is the paper that we're using has never been used for a cigar, band ever. Now we're just finding out the reason. The reason because it's very hard to get off, and so unfortunately, we're trying to correct that, but I think it's getting better. We really use less glue, but it is. I don't want to take my band off right now because I the same thing. I guarantee you, I'm going to fucking struggle with it. Struggle with it.
Ricky, let me ask you this. I don't know. It's probably been December, maybe November. Sarah came to the shop and visited with
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
Uh, Brought me some little goodie bags that
Hmm.
had Lanceros in them,
Yep.
and then those hit the market. I think just because of when they hit, we were probably the first store to get them because uh, Gus was trying to get them out for a big event we were having,
Right.
um, and then also in that bag were some nubs. Are those going to be coming out anytime in the future?
The nub. It was the like a flying pig size.
Yeah, it was smaller than a robusto. Uh,
So there's a Corona that we're doing next year, but there's another size that we're going to introduce to market very soon, kind of taking off the size of the flying pig, that kind of
so
figurado.
yeah, it was like the flying pig size then.
Okay, so that's going to come in the market. I think, and we're going to do to launch this cigar. We're going to do another attic to test that size to
Okay.
see if that size is something the fan base of West Tampa wants. So instead of putting the pressure on you guys, hey, we have this size, buy it all, and so we're going to test it out with the like a attic series, and that's going to be at the trade show of next year.
So is anything that comes out now are you going to use the Attic series then as a testing ground?
Well, sometimes I think it's a great thing for us to test,
Yeah.
to not spend all our money for a cigar that doesn't have a fan base. It also takes the pressure off of you not to buy 12, 15, 18 boxes for the buy-in and say I don't know if it's going to work. Here's an Addict series. Buy 2 or 3 boxes and see if the feedback is positive. Share that information with us and we'll launch that cigar.
Because you don't know if it's going to be a CAO flathead or the.
Exactly, or a concert. But it also it just not, sometimes it's not going to be a test. Sometimes we're going to have access to tobacco. Say, bro, it's great tobacco, but we only have a limited amount of tobacco. We age the tobacco. We found it in factories, 20 years old. We only have 2 or 3 bales of it, so we can never launch a full time line. Now we have a situation that we can launch this beautiful tobacco through this series called Attic. So sometimes it's going to be a test blend. Sometimes it's going to be unique, tobacco. Sometimes, hey, bro, what would a red taste like in a 7 by 70? Okay, I don't know. Let's do the Attic and test the market. So I think it's going to be a combination of things.
Okay. So what else is coming down the pike for us from West Tampa? What's new?
So the newest things that we have a market that we're going to really hit the street with is, of course, the Lancero. And why did we do Lanceros? It's not because the geeks, the cigar geeks, since the beginning of what I do, every blend I've ever introduced, hey, like Amazon Basic, bro, this cigar would be great in Lancero. Yeah, great, great. Oh, this cigar would be great unless that's the problem with this is you guys we make the Lanceros, but you don't buy them.
Right.
What they do buy is one, two cigars at a time. It's never a box purchase. That's the reason a lot of manufacturers walk away from that size. But there's something happening to the newbies. The guys have been smoking for 5 years to cigars today. They're saying, should I pay attention to this odd size? Yes, if you like the flavor of that wrapper to get more of that concentrated, that's the reason we do Lanceros to focus on that beautiful wrapper. And so if you like that wrapper, I would definitely invest in it. And so it's not because the geeks is thinking they know more than we do. It's because of the new generation of smokers coming in. Hey, I'm interested in these oddball sizes, and that's going to be the reason. So that's going to be one. And then we have a 5 pack. Did you guys get the 5 pack yet, or presented the 5 pack? So we
Uh,
have a Rita 5 pack on a boat. It's 5 cigars, a boat of eight, and a boat of eight 5 packs in that thing. And it's going to be two white, two black, and one red. So easy grab and go for your golf tournament, for your poker session, just to go throw in your car and do your journey. And then what else? Attic is going to be out there next week. We're going to start to pre-sell it again in Attic, and then we're really excited of this fourth line, full-time line called Circle Life. And Circle Life is we want to do a trilogy to honor the countries that I worked in, the
okay.
DR, Honduras, and Nicaragua, but also people that helped me in Honduras, Nicaragua, and the DR. So when I look at my masters that taught me, unfortunately, the four, two passed away. Mr. Coleman passed away, and Franklin Nessus passed away. I still have access to two other ones, Benji Menendez and EPC Carrillo, Ernesto Carrillo. And so I went to Ernesto and said, bro, I would love to make a cigar with you. And he said, no. I was like, what? We have history. You taught me what I do. No. And I said, you know what? I'll get back with you. And I created the image, the story behind it. This is my circle of life in tobacco. And I cannot start my circle of life story without talking about you. You're the first Hall of Famer that taught me. He looked at the presentation, he looked at the story, and said, oh my God, I'm in. And we created this blend together. And Ernesto is so happy of this blend because he said to me the other day, we're together about a month ago. He says, Ricky, I've been smoking a lot of your Circle Life. I can't believe this cigar is coming out of my factory because it just shows you there is a kind of an image or a flavor that's in every cigar he makes, but because of my input and using just a binder and one filler, he says, I can't believe this is coming out of my factory. And he loved it. And so that's the reason. So that's going to be in the market, three sizes in the market, and I think we'll ship it in October.
Awesome. And that one. So then the next one after that will be what about another year?
Yeah, so we'll start to, I'm already talking to another manufacturer too to release another cigar. So I don't think we're going to, because of timing right now with October, a lot of people in the north east is going to start to, or Midwest is going to start to shut down because they're worried about the winter time. So we're going to kind of highlight a Circle of Life again at the trade show in New Orleans in May or April, whatever it is. and we're going to also maybe start to talk about another line that we want to introduce to the market full time, and maybe in August, July, August timeframe. So we have the bump. So I will have another full-time line uh, introduced to the market by the end of the sermon, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Bill, you have anything else that you were dying to ask?
He answered all of my questions, I think. Mr. Rodriguez,
Every question, really, every question I answered about, really? Yeah,
well,
no,
look,
but
hey,
He's got
this is
5 pages of
this is
notes.
my uh, maybe in closing. One thing, thinking about the future a little bit more. Have you
Mhm.
any thoughts of starting your own factory?
No, no, we don't want to do that because, as a factory, you need to be there. You need to. So there's no reason for me. I know everybody. I'm going to work with people I respect, number one, and trust, number two. And so that there's no reason because at my age, I'm going to be 65, and in a couple of months, and I don't want to live in Nicaragua or the DR or Honduras. I love these countries more to visit than to live, and so there's no reason. As long as we can partner up somebody that we can trust, give us a good price point that we could live with, there's no reason. But no, I'm more interested in doing something in West Tampa and creating something. I don't know what that something is. Is it just a shop or a gathering place? So a lot of people think we're making cigars in West Tampa. A lot of people think we have a corporate office in Tampa, and so no, we don't. And so we would just want to visit Tampa, give us a reason to visit Tampa. So we will do something like that in the next 2 to 5 years, and we'll have something that everybody can come to Tampa, see some. Maybe we have a war or two on, staff that go roll cigars. We have some tobacco, blue tobacco, so you can show maybe a little fermentation, a little aging, all that. So we can do that. So more of a gathering place than a shop.
How's Sarah doing with her rolling? I know she's going down and taking rolling classes and learning from you.
Yeah. She, you know what, is great. She picked up very quickly, but if you're not doing it, it's like running your car. If if you don't start your car every day or every other day, and you think you're going to set it down for 2 years and going and start it up, and no, yeah, it's so you have to practice. So I know that she wants to do more events, and right now, it's not her doing events, rolling cigars. It's for me, is like, how do we treat that tobacco? How do we get that tobacco in your hands in Arizona, New York, Chicago, Miami, fresh enough for you to roll and, for your fan base to be able to smoke. But that will come. Yeah,
It
for
is.
sure.
You and your wife did good with her. I'm telling you that. So, uh,
Bro, thank you so much because the only way we get graded as a parent is you have to meet that kid. And if we all met kids like, oh my God, he's my friend's friend, but his kid is a rat. He's
oh,
a fucking rat. But when you, as a person, especially a father or a mother, says, I just met Sarah, whatever you guys did, you did it right, and that's our grade of A from you guys. So, bro, from my heart to you, thank you because I'm not saying I'm saying it has been a battle to work with Sarah, and it's been a battle for Sarah to work with me because we had to learn how to separate daughter and dad from
Sure.
quarterly to boss, and that was something that we had to learn. But today we're in a situation that she knows when I put that hat on, that's father speaking to her, or I had this hat on, as my boss speaking to me.
well, Ricky, we love your cigars. Our
Absolutely.
people love them, and I mean, you can come in here any day, and there'll be people here smoking them in the lounge. So,
I
Uh,
love that. And we will be there. I
yeah,
promise you guys, I will be there. If you're going to support me, I know Sarah was there, but I will get there and do an event with you guys and maybe entertain all your fan base. And all I want to do is every time I do an event, I want you to walk away. I know more or something that I didn't know yesterday to enjoy my cigar tomorrow a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
And that's all I want.
Thank you so much
thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much, Ricky. We really, really appreciate it, and safe journeys to you and as you travel on today.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for the time to allow me to share this little story called West Tampa with you guys.
Thank you very much. Be safe.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.